Has a manager ever made you miss your bonus on purpose? When I first joined that company, I thought I'd finally found my place. I had a degree in computer engineering, but my dream was to work as an electrical engineer. When a big firm in that field offered me the chance, I jumped at it. My first few months were great. My first performance review was glowing, and I even got a bonus and a raise. The team respected me, and I was managing small projects with solid results. But my manager was off. He was one of those good old boys types, promoted because of who he knew, not what he did. His boss, the director, was the same way. If someone complained about him, the director would literally invite my manager into the meeting and tell the employee, talk to him directly. No surprise. People stopped speaking up. Promotions were rare, morale was low, and turnover was constant. Still, I did my job. I got assigned to difficult projects that others couldn't finish, and I fixed things nobody else wanted to touch. Whenever a test failed or a process broke, I figured it out. But instead of being recognized, I just got more dumped on me. Then came the impossible project. Literally, impossible. I was told to make two parts fit that physically couldn't be made to fit without altering either of them. I explained why it wouldn't work, but my manager only said, figure it out. After months of wasted time, they reassigned it to someone else, who ended up doing exactly what I'd suggested from the start. They got credit. I got silence. The pattern kept repeating. I'd fix issues, smooth things over, and save projects, while my manager took the praise or brushed it off. When a big product finally launched, the software and marketing teams were rewarded publicly. My group, the one that kept the hardware running, got nothing. My boss even told us they deserve the recognition. They were here nights and weekends. We were too. When I said that, he smirked and said, yeah, but they weren't fixing their own mistakes. That was the final straw. I started job hunting. After a few interviews, I landed an offer from another company, one that valued my actual skills. Before accepting, I called HR to check when I'd still qualify for my annual bonus. They said I just needed to stay until 2 weeks before my new start date. Perfect. I pushed back my start date, gave my manager a full 4 weeks notice, and handed him my resignation in person. He barely reacted. Cool, he said. That was it. By then, our team had already lost 4 engineers, and the rest of us were covering everything. I finished my last projects, left detailed reports, and walked out without looking back. A few months later, it hit me. I never got my bonus. HR told me I wasn't eligible because the fiscal year ended 2 weeks after I left. I explained that they'd told me otherwise, and they said my old manager could approve a prorated amount. I emailed him, thinking it would be a quick fix. His reply, yeah, I knew you wouldn't be eligible if you left then. I wondered why you didn't stay longer. I can't help you. He knew. He intentionally let me miss out on it. That's when I decided to get even, just not right away. My new company had plenty of openings, but most required at least 3 years experience. I kept in touch with my old coworkers. Morale there was worse than ever. My manager had started yelling at people in their cubicles, blaming them for things beyond their control, and shutting down anyone who spoke up. I knew I couldn't save everyone, but I could help the ones who deserved better. One of them was a young engineer I had mentored, barely a year and a half in. He was talented but inexperienced. I told him to hang on until he had 3 years. When that time came, I flooded his inbox with openings at my company. He got an interview, then a job, and even moved to a new city with a big pay raise. He was thriving. I reached out to 2 more, veterans with over 10 years each under that same toxic boss. For a while, they hesitated, but eventually both reached their breaking points. One texted me, that's it, I'm done. Can you help me get out? Oh, and the other guy wants out too. Challenge accepted. I couldn't get both hired at my company, but I had connections. One ended up joining a competitor, the other landed a position closer to home, both with better pay and environments. When one of them handed in his notice, my old manager panicked. He suddenly tried to play nice, offering raises and flexibility, the same things he refused to give before. It was too late. In the end, 3 of his best engineers walked out, each to a better future. My former boss, the same one who thought he could quietly cheat me out of a bonus, was left scrambling to keep his sinking team afloat, and that was enough for me.